Hello viewers, welcome to Life Balance today, and of course another fantastic day. We're learning how to balance our life despite the ups and downs of the economy. Mental health must be balanced. We have to be financially balanced, and of course we have to live in a home that gives us the comfort of our choice. And I have with me today who will be discussing home, property, real estate, Mr. Gbadebo Olamerun. Mr. Gbadebo is a seasoned professional. He's been in the industry for well over 11 years and more. He's also a financial expert, so he's combining all of that together. He's a married man. He's mentally, physically, financially, and socially balanced. Mr. Gbadebo, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, viewers.
All right. Okay, so we're going to talk to him just after the break. Welcome back, viewers, and of course with me here is Mr. Gbadebo of Real Estate. Mr. Gbadebo is the CEO, MD of Gafford Properties and Home. So he's going to be talking to us about properties, and I'm sure you know that every person needs to live in a comfortable home, beautiful home, amazing home, a home that you will stay and you have good dreams. And Mr. Gbadebo has all of that, okay? But before we dive into that very quickly, I'm going to talk to Mr. Gbadebo. Tell us exactly how you started the real estate venture. Have you always been that? Have you always been wanting to be in the real estate, or because you're into finance? Am I correct?
Absolutely.
You read
banking and finance.
Banking and finance. You've been there for over
2 decades.
2 decades, and still counting. Or you're now real into real estate.
Into real estate.
Okay,
now.
okay. So that is what he's known for. Mr. Gbadebo, please talk to us about real estate.
Thank you.
Who are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Okay, I'm privileged to be the CEO of Gafford Properties and Home. Okay. And for us in Gafford Properties, we dwell on value. Okay. Whatever brings value, we are connected to it. All right, and it's always saying that there is no man that is an island. So for us, we are a partner with value. If you're bringing value on the table, Gafford is your next door step to come make an inquiry on. So Gafford Properties and Home is an indigenous and a professionally international organization. Oh, okay. We have properties within the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. Oh, okay. And privilegedly, sometime last month, we were able to have our first international branch. Okay, so we opened our United States branch in the US. Oh, okay. And,
you're actually global now.
It's interesting. So it's interesting to see that the role of providing affordable homes and properties for Nigerians is what we do as an organization. Oh, okay. Building homes is interesting. And you see that building affordable, convenient, smart home is what Gafford Properties Home.
Okay, so Gafford, is it just into properties, as in you have completed buildings and all of that, or do you also sell land? I know you have land. I know you have properties and on the island in Ikoyi, you have on the mainland as well, and you have in all these choice areas, okay? But I don't know if you also have in other areas that will not be as expensive as what we have in Ikoyi and VGT and all of that. Do you have properties like that as well?
Absolutely. We have properties within all levels. Oh, okay. All right. We have property in Ofada. Oh, okay. We have at Ikeja. We have at Okpanam in Delta. Oh, okay. All right. We have at Asaba. We have in Abuja. So we have the high level budget properties. We have the low level budget properties.
So it cuts across every person. If there's something, there's a landing space for any person.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So when you say there's a landing space it's open to every person, do you also put into consideration that the take home for the average Nigerian, for instance, we know about the civil servants, we know what their wages look like, okay? Do you still consider such people when you talk about inclusive property for every person?
Absolutely. For Gafford Properties and Home, we have properties that cut across all levels of lives in Nigeria. Oh, okay. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you earn. We have strategies and programs that can make our properties affordable for you. Okay. I'll give you an example. If you want to buy land as low as 1.5 million. We have properties in that regards.
Okay.
All right. And if you want to buy houses as low as 14 million, 7 million, we have houses in that regards too. Because we're in partnership with a lot of governments, and we're also in partnership with a lot of mortgage homes. So a lot of person does not have that big volume to pay at once, but you have an intermediary that can help you secure a mortgage initiative that makes you pay instrumentally, the way you pay your rent. I have a friend, she has a house at Ikeja and she pays 1 million naira as rent. And I told her, you don't need to pay 1 million as rent. The 1 million naira you pay as rent can be converted into rental income, right? The money you pay becomes your subscription for owning the house.
That sounds interesting.
Our parents made those mistakes for years, that we paid rent for 5 years, 12 years, 15 years. There was a tenant in my father's house that lived there for almost 19 years, and he paid 19 years rent judiciously.
I can imagine.
Such tenants can take advantage of mortgage with Gafford Properties, whereby the money you're supposed to be paying as rent can be converted into mortgage payments, and after 10 years, 15 years, the house is yours.
You own the house, so you become a landlord, a landlady, and all of that. It's quite exciting, absolutely. Because people don't understand that, because of how we rate houses, especially in Lagos here, houses are quite expensive. People don't know that there's a way you can actually own your own property, with ease. And I'm sure that your company is, from what you're explaining, that means that any person can really partner with your company and be able to own a home of their choice. That's quite interesting. Okay, so let's break it down further. Yes, let's talk about Lagos, owning property in Lagos. I know you're international, but in Lagos precisely.
You're first Lagos before we went international.
Oh, you were first Lagos. Okay, so you're the landlord here already. Okay, so let's look at Lagos. Properties in Lagos State. A lot of people, want to own properties in Lagos, and a lot of people also have been owning properties in Lagos. But lately, there's been this kind of confusion, whereby people are told, okay, you don't really need to own a property in Lagos because, or rather, that's what people think, in quotes, we don't need to own a property in Lagos because sometime later, that property you think is yours, if you're not from here, may actually not be yours, so it becomes a struggle. Has that affected your business in any way,
Not at all. It's just a political narrative, right? And when it comes to politics, everything is played out. For this guy to win, he will use ethnicity, he will use religion, he will use everything possible to win election. So the shenanigan that is on the table for now is just for the meantime. The same thing happened in 1993.
Please tell us about that.
The same thing happened in 1979. All right, that the people that was disenfranchised from the election felt aggrieved. All right, and some persons decided to leave Lagos, some left Rivers State because they lost the elections. And before you know it, after the election is over, everything comes back to normal. All right, and the value of the property you bought years back starts to appreciate again. All right. Politicians are very deep. They do everything to divide us. I'm married to a Delta woman. Right, so do I tell my wife that has bought land in Lagos to say because she's not a Lagosian, she should carry her land and leave? It's not done. It's just political underscore, and it will come back to normal. It's just a matter of time.
So for those of us those people who are still thinking, should I buy property in Lagos? Shouldn't I buy property in Lagos? A lot of people have called me. They said, Chinwe, do you think we should go ahead with buying properties in Lagos? And I'm like, I'm not the expert. I'm going to get the experts to talk to us on that issue. And today we have the expert here, Mr Gbadebo, who is advising us. He says, you can go ahead and buy your property in Lagos, because we are one Nigeria. He says his wife is from Delta State and all of that. And so that gives a lot of confidence again. I mean, if you're one of those people who are still doubting and all of that, I think this is a more reassuring because he's an expert in that industry. But before I take that away from you, I need to also find out, when you say go ahead and buy property in Lagos, now when people buy properties, what is expected of them so that they know that it's actually their property, nobody's going to take it away from them, because we, in quotes, we think we know, but we don't really know. So you should know better. What should one be looking out for when you're buying a property?
Number one, what you should look out for is your budget. budget. Buy within your budget.
Okay.
So many persons have bought above their budget, and because they could not finish the payments, they have lost the property.
Okay.
So that's the first golden rule. Buy within your budget.
Buy within your budget.
Right?
Okay.
Let me share a story with you. I bought a piece of land in Ikorodu, 2004.
Okay.
I bought another piece of land in Opik, 2007. Same amount, 1.5, 1.7, relatively same amounts. The one I bought in Ikorodu at 2017, I sold at 4 million.
Wow.
Right? At 2023, the one I bought at 1.7 million in Opik is going presently now for 30 million.
Wow.
So people are coming.
It's a huge difference.
So buying land requires knowledge.
Okay.
So a person buys in area A and continue to buy in area A. So you need to balance it. So when you buy in A, you buy in area B, you spread your risks. It's a kind of quality assessment that we know that before you buy land, where is government going?
Okay.
If you have an understanding of
where
where
is
the
government
government's going.
Oh, okay. But we, the lay people, would not know all of that.
That's why you need to contact people that are in the industry.
Okay.
Right? And government is doing a lot of knowledge sharing.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Because government of Lagos State over time has been talking about they're developing XYZ in Ikorodu. Hence the reason they want to do the 4th mainland bridge.
Okay.
So if you're smart now, Ikorodu is a very good destination for you to go invest in.
Oh, really?
Because immediately the 4th mainland bridge is connected, everything will change.
Oh, yeah.
At the point in time I bought in Ikorodu, but the value hasn't come. All right, so knowledge is critical. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, title documents is critical. Is the second most important thing.
Wow.
Some professionals mix it and think title documents is what you should put into your mind when you're buying land. No.
Okay.
Your budget. If you get the budget right, immediately you buy land and you put a grain of sand on it, you have taken possession. If you buy land and you don't put anything on it, you have not taken possession.
Okay.
All right. So buy within your budget. Then secondly, do a title document.
Okay. So what do you mean title documents? Is it the CFO or the deed of?
You don't need to do a CFO.
Okay.
There is first you get a receipt from the person you're buying it from.
Okay.
Right. There must be a receipt.
Okay.
After receipt, there must be a deed of agreement.
Deed of agreement.
Yes.
That's number two.
That's number two. You must have a deed of agreement.
Okay.
After the deed will now state what document is on the land.
Okay.
If it is a virgin land that has nothing entirely, then go to register the deed of assignment. After registering it, then you do a survey.
Okay.
All right. So when you get the survey must also have a red copy. Most persons just do survey without
a red copy.
Yes.
Of the survey.
The red copy means that it is registered with the government.
Oh, okay.
Surveyors can just do registration for you without registering it to government.
So how would you know that it's registered with the government?
Whatever state
you need to ask them.
Wherever state that you have, like Lagos State has documented their own digitally.
Okay.
So you can get these details online.
Oh, okay.
So when surveyor does a survey for you, go to the government and confirm whether it is a red copy. That it has details with the government.
Oh, okay.
So if you have survey, then you are secured for the land.
Oh, okay.
Right. So after survey, there are several other documentation you're supposed to do. After the survey, you need to push further to have other documents like assessment, COO. The COO is the highest of it. The COO has several versions on its own.
Okay.
So immediately you have a COO, then ownership is confirmed on it.
Wow.
Right. So if you get that, then you can now go into perimeter fencing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Then you start building,
okay.
or you build before fencing.
Before fencing.
All right. But some people would rather first build, then fence, then go and do their documentation. But we have several instances of people that built and somebody else has done the documentation before them and they lost the building.
Yeah, because I keep wondering, how does it happen that XYZ person says this is my land and the other person comes again, the same land, you know, and I also wonder, how come a land can be sold to, is it possible a land can be sold to 2-3 people at the same time?
Yes.
Does it mean they were not given documents at the points of purchase and all of that?
It means that they did not do proper due diligence. Right? In lands, the first person to register is deemed to be the owner of the land.
Oh, okay.
So if you buy land from me in 2001 and you didn't do anything,
okay,
and they now went over and sell again to another person in 2004, and the person went to go and do his documents, right, and has a C of O. So it's deemed that the person that has the C of O owns the land. It can be challenged in the law courts. You can go to a legal court and challenge it, showing receipt, but it takes a longer time. So there's no need for that. So whenever you buy a land, document it.
So if I document a land, and some other person is coming to buy that land, how will the person know that I have already documented this land? I mean,
so if
because some people just sell this land, they keep selling to so many people. So how would, I mean, at what point would a customer know that, oh, I'm not supposed to buy this land? It's already been sold.
Thank you. Before you buy any land, take the documents, go and verify. So when you verify in lands will tell you, sorry, this land has been registered already by XYZ name. So you know it's a no-go area. So you revert back to the guy selling, sorry, this land has been registered, blah, 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 so I cannot buy. So the mistake we do is that immediately you see the land, you just buy on sentiment.
Wow, that's quite educating, very informative, really. So I mean, now we know what to watch out for when you want to get a land. Now let's go back to properties, houses. You know, I keep talking about properties because houses, because I know that every person wants to get a decent home. Everybody wants to lie down, wake up and dream sweet dream, because you're living in a comfortable house. You don't want to stay in a place where, you know, the landlord is knocking on your door, you need to pay rent, you need to do all of those things, you know. So that brings me back to your properties. What properties do you have available right now as we speak? Now, if somebody says, oh, I want a property, is it something that your company can provide the property at once? Is it like they have to wait for them to start building the property, or you already have finished ones? What kind of properties do you do?
Very critically, the house deficit in Nigeria is extremely alarming.
Deficit, you said?
Absolutely.
Wow.
So as a brand, we're looking at how we can collaborate with other stakeholders to provide affordable homes for Nigerians. All right. Government cannot do it alone. Government is also partnering with international communities, organizations like ours, to see how they can constantly and continuously bridge the gap of decreasing the deficit of homes in Nigeria. So as a property company, what we do is to work with government, work with colleagues, work with stakeholders to constantly provide succor for Nigerians across every level. You're rich, you're middle class, you're low class. However way will provide succor for you. And in consonance, knowing fully well that all hands are not equal. Some persons can afford to buy 100 million naira house, while some persons can also afford to buy a less than a 10 million naira house. All right, so it's just the location that differs. So whatever is your choice, Gafford Properties and Home can provide that succor for you. In consideration that we can also provide a mortgage institution that are our partners. Reputable mortgage institution.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Gbadebo. Before we say final goodbye to you, tell us how you balance your life outside work now. You know, you have a family, and you know, how you're able to balance your family, your work, and all of that. I know most men actually somehow they tilt to their job, and they lose their family. And some people are just like family, and the job is not, you know. So how do you balance of all of this?
I think it's a very demanding question because life itself is not balanced.
This life no balance. I keep hearing that all the time.
Life is not balanced. So it's an intentional thing. Privilegedly, I have 4 fantastic children, 3 beautiful ladies, girls, and a boy. So intentionally, I create time for them. All right. And
intentionally is the word.
The word intentionally. At a point in time, I'm the first to wake up in my house. At a very tender age. So I wake up and I wake everybody up. But seriously speaking, my girls wake me up now.
Wow.
In fact, I'm so proud of them.
Wow.
They take care of themselves.
And then he said, my girls wake me up now. that gender thing comes into my head sometimes. You know, when I hear the girls are doing excellently well. That's fine. That's good
it's a phenomenal experience that they do their chores, they take their baths, they're ready for school. And they come, Dad, you've got to get up. And I was like, wow, our life changes.
Wow.
Right, so you must intentionally create time for your family. The same applicable to your wife. Secondly, you must create time for your health. So in creating time for my health, I joined a couple of recreational groups and clubs. All right, I play a lot of table tennis and long tennis.
Mr. Gbadebo, don't go there. I know last time you came here, I beat you on table tennis. Have you forgotten? You say you play a lot of table tennis. Okay, that's fine. Maybe after the show, I'll take you up on table tennis again. I also play table tennis.
All right, so that's a good one. And that's I'm glad you look very fit.
You can say that again.
So I play table tennis during my leisure time to keep the body metabolism running effectively. And you know, knowledge is critical. In fact, in my school of thought, knowledge is everything.
Okay.
So because of knowledge, I'm very selective where I recreate.
Okay.
All right. So I intentionally again recreate at the biggest clubhouse in Nigeria.
Wow.
All right. At a point in time, I didn't have the money, so I always go with a friend. And over time, I was able to save up, and now I'm a member of some of those clubs, and we recreate together.
Wow.
So everything you do must be absolutely intentional. If you're intentional about it, you will get it done. Wow. Because the man with the will is the man that always gets the results.
Wow, the man with the will is the man that always gets the results. Thank you so much. I think that's a take home for us today. The man with the will is the man that always get the result. Thank you so much, Mr. Gbadebo, for being on the show. Looking forward to having you some other time.
Absolutely.
All right, it's nice being here. And from me to you, this is Dr. Chinwe. We're saying bye for now. See you in the next episode.